What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Rob Mccraken. Rob Mccraken responds to the criticism that he's receiving. Of course, to the people that don't know, Rob Mccraken said in an interview yesterday, or in an article rather, that he thought that Anthony Joshua had a concussion. He felt that he had a concussion in maybe the third round when he came back to the after the couple knockdowns. First series of knockdowns, he came back to the ring and asked him what's wrong with me, and he said his eyes were glossy and he was trying to get him focused. So he wanted to give him a few more rounds to get over those concussions. Now, depending on what my own personal opinion about that is, because I think he was hurt before the fight, but that's my own personal opinion. But I do feel if Rob Mccraken wanted to give his fighter more time and he knew that he was concussed, a lot of people would say, why didn't you stop the fight? Well, let me shed a little light on something. There is no set in stone rule that says you have to stop a fight because a fighter has a concussion, right? Now that's a difference if he sustained that concussion in that ring on that night by Andy Ruiz. That's different because you have to deal with the problems you have to deal with while you're in the ring. It's a part of the sport, people. Okay, you got to take the good with the bad. Okay, now Rob Mccraken wanted to give him every inch of leeway and time for him to recover, because he believed him they believed him as a fighter. They thought, well, maybe he can come back. Yeah, he looked like he had signs of a concussion, but there's been other fighters that had a concussion clearly, and they didn't stop the fight. Look at Timothy Bradley and Ruslan Pravandakov. Same shit. Bradley sustained a concussion in the second round of that fight, right? He fought 12 rounds and won that fight. So it's not a set in stone rule that you have to stop a fight when someone gets a concussion, okay? Now, Rob Mccraken said he's not a doctor, so he wasn't 100% sure that he had a concussion. The only way we really knew is when they examined him after that. That's what you need to worry about, or that's something that you want to find out, if he had a concussion at all. But regardless of what people say, what he should have done, what he could have done, what did he do? Joshua fought to 7 rounds, okay? The referee stopped the fight. His coach let that fight go on because he believed in his fighter. He thought his fighter could come back. It takes a couple rounds, right? So he wants to give that time for him to recover possibly. That didn't happen. It was the call of the coach, which is Rob Mccraken. It was also the call of the referee that stopped the fight. Okay, we can say, well, he could have been killed in the ring. He could have been this, he could have been that. Okay, let's counterpunch that. Yeah, he could have been. If he was concussed in that fight, yes, those things could have happened. But did they happen? No, they did not. Okay, it would have been a shame if it did. It would have been very unfortunate if it did. However, it didn't happen. All right? And Joshua, being in the shape that he was conditioned enough to at least last that amount of time, those amount of rounds. Because he went more rounds than he went when he got hurt. He got hurt in the third and he went 4 more rounds. So that should tell you the resistance of this guy that was hurt the way he was. Okay? And you got to remember, he hurt Andy Ruiz first, so that could possibly happen again. He was hurt in the Klitschko fight, right? After he hurt Klitschko, right? So, I mean, who knew what was going to happen that night until it happened? Nobody knew that. Okay, and for Rob Mccraken, okay, let's say if he would have stopped the fight in the third round, everyone would have lost their fucking minds. Everyone. All the fighters that hated, all the Joshua haters, all the Wilder lovers, all the Fury lovers, he would have been worse than Roberto Duran, right? Because Roberto quit. That didn't happen. So that would have been another, now people would have looked at Rob McCracken, oh man, why did he stop the fight? Because he had a concussion, right? And those same people that are saying that, oh man, why did you should have stopped it if you knew. And before anyone wants to say, oh, you said that, Kurt, no, Kurt didn't say that. Kurt said his ass was hurt before he got in there. Because that concussion in the third round that he said he got in the third round doesn't explain how he was acting when he got in that ring before the bell started. Before that bell rang, he was a totally different way. Okay? He didn't look right from jump. So don't say that Kurt said, oh man, you were the one that said they should have stopped it. Well, if they would have stopped it, they would have been in deep shit. Right? And those same people that are saying stop it, you should have stopped it now, would have said, oh, why did you stop it then? They're the same people that would have said the same shit. Then why'd you stop the fight? He could have made it, man. He didn't hit him that hard. He already knocked him down too. That would have been the narrative. So Rob McCracken really, again, he made the call. Okay? Because this is a guy that never lost, that's been down before, that's got up from defeat, right? He was hurting a Klitschko fight, but what did they do? They focused and kept on fighting until something happened, an opening. And that opening was an uppercut that ended the night. So how was Rob McCracken really was supposed to know, okay, I need to stop this fight right now? You know? It's his experience of knowing what's going on with his fighters. He knew Anthony Joshua more than anyone else. He's trained him longer than anyone else. He's been with him since the amateur. So, you know, again, he was in a rock and a hard place. He knew I could have stopped it. Right? But you got to remember, this is a brutal sport. This is boxing. So, since this is a brutal sport, since this is boxing, why are you going to stop a fight just because someone got hit and hurt in the head? You get punched in the face and upside the head anyway. Right? You're going to stop it? No, he wasn't cut. He could see out of both eyes. Right? Yes, he was wounded. Okay. But what did you really want Rob McCracken to do? That's the question you ask yourself. So before people want to shit on Rob McCracken said, well, he might, and he looked like he had a concussion. And then I think he's kind of trying to clean it up like, well, I ain't a doctor, but it looked like to me he had a concussion. But, you know, I'm not going to stop it just to figure out if he had a concussion because there's a fight going on. You got the unified heavyweight champion of the world at that time coming to America for the first time. Do you think they really want to stop it in the third round? Ain't gonna happen, right? So the fight ended the way it ended due to the referee stopping the fight. The referee honestly should have been more clear about what he wanted Anthony Joshua to do. But ultimately, he didn't put the gum shield back in his mouth because that referee had already made up in his mind that he was going to stop that fight anyway. That's my counterpunch on that, guys. You guys tell me what you think about Rob McCracken's statement. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.